Hello out there, and welcome to part 19 of everything you need to know about Mage board game. And as you can see, this game is completely set up. We're all ready to go for a solitaire game. Everything is in place. We have the units, the mana dice, we have the player area set up, we have the fame and reputation track, the day-night board, we have all the deed cards, advanced actions, spells, wounds, and artifacts. We have all 7 of the enemy tokens. The only thing we need is a map. We need a map of the area, and that's where these tiles come in. There are 20 tiles that are included with Mage Knight board game. All 20 tiles have 7 different spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what you do is, to put these tiles together and form a map, they're going to be connected. And you have to find the letter. For example, on this one it says A, and the letters down here, this is the bottom, this is the top of it. The next tile you would put down, I'm just grabbing one at random, is going to have its number also on the bottom, and it's going to connect so that the writing is facing the same direction, if that makes sense. So the letter, if you were drawing a letter, you'd go like this and go like this. It wouldn't be sideways, it wouldn't be upside down. The letters are all facing in the same area. Also, where you see circles, these circles are going to continue, and where you see stars, the star has to match a star. Okay, so they're very specific about how the tiles are oriented. This is the starting tile in the game. Now, as you can see, this is going to form kind of a V, where you have the sea over here, or the seas over here. There's kind of an imaginary coastline. What that means is that as you're assembling, and I'm just putting these together to show you the shape, I'm not orienting them. As you put these together, you're going to have 2 tiles attached here, and then you're going to have 3 tiles attached, and so on, so that as the tiles expand, this coastline stays constant. We don't ever explore beyond it. And the same over here. This coastline, you put one over here for 3, one over here to have 4, and so on, so it would just make this V that expanded. If I flip this over to side B, where it says B right there, now you see the coastline cut sharply up this way, but here you can still put 1 tile here on the far left, and then 1 tile here, and then you could have 1 more tile here, because now you don't have to be worried about the coastline, okay? And so from there you could have 4 tiles, and you're going to have a map that expands like a V this way, because this is still the coastline, okay? But over here it's going to cheat to the right, because this cliff here doesn't necessarily indicate that the sea is right here. The sea is actually over here somewhere. So this would be the farthest tile you could have to the right, but you could have another tile here and explore that way. Now what this is going to do is give us a row of 4. We could arrange it so that we have a row of 3 tiles, 3 columns, and we could even have a map with 5 columns in a row. So you're going to have different map sizes and different map shapes based on how close you want all the players and things like that. So what we're going to do for this one is form a wedge. We're going to go back to side A. We're going to explore tiles 1 and 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and then after that we can kind of do it however we want to. We're going to do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, because there are 11 of these green backed tiles here, okay? We also have 4 tiles that have a brown back, but they don't have a city on them. They have a lot of features but no city. We also have 4 tiles that do have cities. Of course, we have a red city, a blue city, a white city, and a green city. So we have 8 core tiles, 4 city tiles, 4 non-city tiles. We have 11 countryside tiles, and I've stacked these up so that they're 1 through 11. I have 1 on top and 2 right below that. So I'm going to put 1 down here and get that matched up. And then I put tile number 2 right here. At the beginning of the game, this is how the map is going to look. Arithia, our Mage Knight, is going to start the game right here on this magic portal. Now, after the first turn, she's going to move, and we remember our move cost. She can move into a plains for 2 movement. There's a plains over here. And this is a forest. Now, a forest is going to cost 3 movement during the day and 5 movement at night. If she were to come back to this magic portal, she wouldn't stay here. She would actually go off the board and would be here until her turn started again, when she could move from the magic portal. We don't let people hang out on the magic portal after their first turn, because then you can have too many players here, and we're not having player versus player combat, so she's not going to be able to stay on this magic portal. Not that she would want to. Okay, so that's the starting tile. You have the magic portal, plains, and forest. Nothing really exciting. Okay, when this tile gets revealed, the first thing we do is find an Orc Marauder, which is going to be one of these green tokens here. We're going to take one at random, so I'm actually going to reach in the middle of the pile. And we're going to put it face up right here. And we have Cursed Hags, who we talked about in the last video. Over here, we're going to have another Orc Marauder. Looks like we have Wolf Riders. And notice these are in the hills. Here's another forest, plains, hills, plains, forest, and a lake. And you can't move into a lake. So you know the movement cost for all this. It costs 3 to move into hills, 3 to move into a forest during the day, 5 to move into a forest at night, and 2 to move into the plains, and you can never access the lake. When we reveal these features, we have a village, a magic glade, we have a crystal mine, a village, and another magic glade. What we do is we find the appropriate cards. So we find the card that says village, and we keep it right here so we can refer to it and we know what it does. Then we find the card that says crystal mines and magical glade, which you remember is on the reverse side of the card that says move cost. And we keep that handy as well so we can refer to it. What's going to happen is when you start your turn on a magic glade, you get a gold mana token. If you were to start your turn on a magic glade at night, you would get a black mana token. If you end your turn on a magic glade and you have a wound in your hand or in your discard pile, you can throw away the wound. Remember, throwing away a wound means you put it back on the deck. Okay? That is called healing essence, to be able to throw away a wound. It doesn't mean you heal, okay? It's not the same as healing. But you have healing essence, so you can throw away a wound by putting it back on the wound deck from your hand or your discard pile. And that also applies to this magic glade as well. Notice that at nighttime it will require 5 movement to go there, but during the day it's only 3. This is a village, and this is a village as well. You can do 3 things in a village. 1, you can recruit any unit from the unit offer that can be recruited in a village. In this case, that would be the foresters and the herbalists, because they have a village icon on them. Okay? It costs you as much influence as their cost in the upper left-hand corner, and your reputation, if you have a positive or negative reputation, will inform what that influence is going to be. In addition to that, you can heal. If you have wounded units, remember 1 healing point heals a level 1 unit. So for whatever level your unit is, you need that many healing points. You can also heal wounds in your hand. By spending 1 healing point, you can throw a wound away. It costs 3 influence in a village to buy 1 healing point. The other thing you can do is pillage a village. Plunder a village. I knew that didn't rhyme. You can plunder a village between the end of one turn and the beginning of your next turn. So anytime it's not your turn, you can plunder a village 1 time. And the way you do that is you lower your reputation by 1 on the reputation track, and then you can draw the top 2 cards out of your deed deck. So this is a chance to expand your hand a little bit, get some more cards. You get 2 more cards, and you lower your reputation by 1. And you can only do that once between each of your turns, and that's if you end your turn on a village. Okay? Now these Orc Marauders, we've already explained how combat works. You can be one space adjacent from them and challenge them to a fight, in which case you can use whatever range and siege attack you have to beat their armor. Or, if you don't have enough range and siege attack, then you don't use any, you let them attack you, and you attempt to block their attack. If you can't block their attack, then you assign the damage that their attack does. After you've assigned damage, if you had to, or after you've just blocked their attack, either one, then you attack them for whatever their armor is. If you fail to do so, nothing happens, except you might get some wounds if you take damage. If you succeed, you remove these guys from the map. This becomes an empty space. Okay? You get 1 reputation, and you get as much fame as this orc provides on that bottom part of the coin there. So that's gone. Same thing here. Now, if you move from one space adjacent to the Orc Marauder to another space adjacent, you provoke him, and he attacks you. Okay? So you can just make a movement from here to here, and that will provoke him to attack you. And then you have the choice of either using ranged and siege attack, or just blocking his attack. If you are in one space adjacent to one Orc Marauder, and you move to a space adjacent to another one, that does not provoke them. Okay? If you were trying to get to this village, and you knew that by moving here and spending 2 points of movement, you would provoke these Wolf Riders, your turn would stop. The only thing you could do is fight these guys, because they would see you going this way, and they would attack you. And the only thing you'd be able to do on your turn is fight. You would not be able to go to the village and interact. You could go to the space, but you wouldn't be able to interact and recruit a unit. You wouldn't be able to buy healing points. You would be able to plunder the village at the end of your turn, but you would not be able to do anything else. What you could do instead is spend 4 move points and go from here to here and then interact in the village, but that requires 2 more points of movement, and you may decide it's not worth it. When you are here at the edge of a map, or the edge of a tile like this, you can further explore the map. To do so, you announce which direction you're going to explore if you have multiple options. In this case, we're going to go right here. You spend 2 movement, and then you put the tile down correctly oriented. And here you can see another village. You see plains, you see hills, you see a forest, another crystal mine. And I should mention that if you end your turn on a crystal mine, you get 1 crystal of whatever color the mine produces. This is a green one. This is a white one. We also have a keep up here. This keep is protected by the garrison. We're going to put this keep token face down there for now. If during the daytime you move to one space adjacent to this keep, it goes face up so we can see who it is, and as we can see, it's going to be the crossbowman. At night, this would stay down, and if you chose to move here, it would automatically be an assault, and then you would flip it over and see who you were fighting. But by then you've already made the commitment, and you have to fight them. When you move to a keep, your reputation goes down by 1. It doesn't matter whether the assault was successful or not. Once you've moved here, you've made the assault, everybody knows about it, and your reputation gets lowered. The advantage of winning a battle here in a keep is that you can put your shield token here. Okay, so this space of the map is now claimed. This is your keep. And as long as you are on either the space where the keep is or one space adjacent, your hand size is temporarily increased by 1 for as many keeps as you own. So if you've conquered 3 keeps through the game, if you're adjacent to one of those keeps, you get 3 more cards in your hand when you draw at the end of the turn. In addition to that, if there's a unit that can be recruited in a keep, and you are present in a keep that you've conquered, you can recruit that unit. Okay? So that is what happens with tile 3. And by the way, you do want to find the card that addresses the keep so that you have it handy. Okay? Also, if another player decides they want to take your keep, If you're there and they move into your space, that's considered player versus player combat, which we're not doing for the first reconnaissance. But if you're not there, they can move to your keep, which is considered an assault. They will randomly draw a gray token, one of the keep tokens. They fight it, and if they win, they get the fame for that token cut in half and rounded up. So, for example, in that case, when you fought this keep here and you conquered these crossbowmen, you got 3 fame. If somebody else decided to come here and they happen to draw a crossbowman, instead of getting 3 fame, you'd cut that in half, and it'd be 1.5. You round up, they'd get 2 fame instead of 3. Okay, but then this would be their keep. They'd take your shield token off and put their shield token on. All right. So that is the opening. This is the starting map. We have our starting tile and our tile 1, tile 2. This is tile 3. And in the next video, I'll explain what happens with the rest of the core tiles. And I will also explain a very important tactic called reverting. So that's enough for now, starting with exploring the map. This has been everything you need to know about Mage Knight board game. Come back for the next episode. Until then, GLHF. Good luck, have fun.